Hello, everyone. My name is Dane Smith, and welcome to our webinar today, Introducing EnghouseAI, Practical AI for Smarter Customer Experience. Today, what we're going to be doing is going through, and we're going to have two speakers today. But before we get to them, I'd like to go through and talk about a few things. We are recording today's webinar, so you will be receiving a link, in the next few days that has not only a link to the recorded webinar, but also a link or even an attachment to the slide deck today, because you'll see later on as we get to it, there's a section in there that will allow you to click on different links to either download a handout or a brochure or a white paper or anything like that. I think that pretty much covers those basics that I wanted to go through. Let me go ahead and introduce our speakers that you see here on the screen. The first is Steve Natras, and Steve is the VP of Product Management here at Enghouse Interactive. And next we have Paul Stanzik, and Paul is the VP of Sales for both the Americas as well as APAC. I think that's about all I really wanted to go through. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Paul, and then of course we'll have Steve speak a little bit later on. Paul, you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about Enghouse as well as the current state of AI?
Sure. Thanks, Dane. I appreciate the introduction. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. For those that are maybe unfamiliar with Enghouse Interactive, I'd like to give you a brief introduction, if I may. Enghouse Interactive is a division of Enghouse Systems, which is a publicly traded Canadian-based software and services provider. Enghouse serves a number of distinct verticals through our various business divisions, developing and supplying enterprise software within different business segments. We provide mission-critical software to many of the world's organizations, whether it's emergency dispatch, transit operations, helping manage hundreds of telco networks, providing secure video for patient-doctor interactions, or helping people interact with thousands of businesses every day. We are there ensuring that these activities are best in class. So Enghouse Interactive is the division that's dedicated to customer experience software. Our solutions fit neatly into the contact center space, but many of our tools have a wider application for the business, such as recording and quality management, and of course, AI, which is what we're going to talk about today. We pride ourselves on designing and delivering solutions that enhance the experience offered by our users to their customers. With EnghouseAI in particular, Enghouse Interactive is confident that we can help transform the traditional contact center from a cost center to a powerful growth engine. And Steve will take you through how that will happen shortly. Now, just to set the scene a little bit for AI in 2024, firstly, as you can see here, Gartner reports that organizations are increasingly adopting AI technologies for various purposes and has predicted that more than 80% of enterprises will adopt some form of generative AI by 2026. Meanwhile, recent HubSpot research found that 79% of surveyed CX specialists believe that AI is an important strategy for their business. And lastly, in Salesforce's State of the Connected Customer report, it shows that 73% of customers have no issues with AI being used to enhance CX operations. So why is this really important, and why AI? So it's very important for organizations planning AI deployment to understand and position that AI is not just about reducing costs. I'm sure most of us on this webinar today have seen enough of AI around by now to appreciate its astonishing capabilities, and some maybe missteps by a few early users. But as Steve will cover later on, a successful AI implementation depends on stakeholder communication. You know your stakeholders best, but do consider whether cost saving is likely to be their #1 motivation to follow you on your AI journey. AI can enhance CX operation in all of these ways I'm showing here. And again, you'll get more detail from Steve. But as you can see, improving agent productivity and performance ensures higher availability. Automating parts of the interaction journey provides a more personal experience that can be offered to a much greater segment of your customers. And these improvements will be consistent across your entire operation, with AI reducing the skills and experience gap between your agents. Overall, by enabling your CX staff to perform better, you'll provide a better experience, both for your customers and your agents. You'll meet, maybe even exceed your customer expectations by being faster, more efficient, and more accurate. Importantly, you'll maintain or improve your market position, even as more and more of your competitors start looking at AI. Now, I think we're going to do a quick little poll just to see where everybody is on that AI journey.
All
Please go ahead.
right. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll real quick. We'll give it about 15, 20 seconds to get some answers, and then we'll go ahead and share those answers with the group. So where are you in your AI journey? Number 1, still dubious about AI security. 2, concerned about cost. 3, building a business case. 4, not sure where to start. And 5, we are ready to go. We'll give it another few seconds, since I still see the votes just coming in very quickly. All right, maybe 5 more seconds here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call it then. I'm going to close the poll, and let me go ahead and share those for us.
A quick look.
So I'm curious, with the highest one being here, Steve, building a business case. That's the highest one. The second one is not sure where to start. And then down to ready to go, which is actually, I take that back. Ready to go is second. So we have quite a few people here who are really ready to go. A couple of others, obviously they're building that business case. And 23%, which is only 1% less than ready to go, is not sure where to start. So I think this might be a fantastic webinar for them to be on.
Absolutely, and I think, and that aligns with what we've seen across all of our conversations with various customers and the industry. The key thing being that building a business case is, so often these things are seen as quite expensive. And what we're going to talk about today is to see, well, then maybe they don't have to be as expensive as some of the offerings out there, and they can actually deliver real return on that investment. So let's drop in and let's take a look. Starting off with, in this, we've been talking about customer experience, but it isn't just a trend anymore. It's now become a transformative force, but there's a lot of hype. And as I mentioned, our AI solutions aren't just about deploying AI for AI's sake. They're about strategically leveraging the technology that has a real business benefits for our customers. We've designed our solutions with a laser focus on practicality, affordability, and security, while driving measurable outcomes. And that's the key, it's measurable outcomes, because that's how you measure whether you're getting that return on investment. And specifically for us, we're tailoring the AI solutions around customer experience. Over the next few months, we'll be launching even more AI features, but we also have an extensive range of solutions that are available today. And many of these have had a recent upgrade with significant enhancements, thanks to a lot of the products and services that you'll be reading about in the press. Over the next few slides, I'll dive a little bit deeper into all of these solutions you see on the screen at the moment. And let's have a dive into the first one. First up, and this is the fundamental building block, is transcription service. We've built our own transcription service with contact centers in mind. It supports more than 50 languages and provides that cost-effective foundation that many of the other AI features rely on. This new service is now more cost-effective than ever before. And this means that it can be a game changer for our customers, enabling them to add artificial intelligence to absolutely every call. From summarization to automated evaluation, accurate transcription is key to unlocking the benefits of these advanced features. Next, we have our automatic web translation feature. This enables businesses to assist customers in their native language, regardless of the language proficiency of the agents. By translating web chats in real time, any agent is able to assist any customer. And we have here a case study that you'll find on our website on how Hitachi Energy uses this feature to support their global customer base. And the case study discusses how they deliver an improved multi-language service to their customers, even when they don't even have a native speaker in their entire organization for that particular language. We also have a real-time agent coaching component that leverages AI to offer real-time guidance to your agents about what is being said and how, and then directly enhancing the customer experience during those interactions by making sure that the agent is delivering the right message. And as we've already seen, AI is not just about chatbots, but these are often the first concept that the wider public thinks about when they think about AI. But at Enghouse, we prefer the term virtual agent because they provide more advanced capabilities beyond those possible with traditional chatbots. Dane mentioned earlier some of the missteps that we've seen. I've seen another interesting news article this morning about yet another problem, and this is where the traditional chatbot doesn't quite make sense in the modern world, and virtual agents are therefore far more less likely to trip over those problems. Our virtual agents are designed to become integral members of your contact center team, albeit one that never sleeps and is always there to assist your customers. By deploying these virtual agents, your business can not only enhance the customer experience, but also empower your human agents to concentrate on more complex, higher value interactions. We'll be talking more about our virtual agent solutions in a future webinar. Now on to one of our most recent new features, summarization. This AI solution condenses those long conversations into just a few sentences, saving time both at the beginning and at the end of calls, enabling agents to read up on previous interactions quickly at the beginning of a call, and then saving time during post-call wrap-up by identifying next actions and eliminating those oversights and inaccurate manual summaries. Our AI vision also extends beyond the contact center front lines. With our insight solutions, your contact center's data evolves from that underutilized asset into a treasure trove of actionable insights. This transforms every interaction into a learning opportunity, propelling not just customer experience to new heights, but enriching every facet of your operation. These solutions focus on both sides of every interaction, the voice of the customer and the voice of the agent. At Enghouse, we launched our first automated evaluation solution almost 2 years ago, and recently has benefited from a significant upgrade in capability thanks to generative AI. But by using AI to analyze all of your customer interactions, you can get a comprehensive understanding of agent behavior and identify those issues more quickly, especially when compared with traditional manual evaluations, and at the same time reducing costs, and eliminating those biases that can occur when the human is doing the manual evaluation. Our solution is not just a standardized scorecard, as you'll see from elsewhere, is that the standardized scorecard is great, but what businesses really need is the ability to easily configure the questions and target the specific aspects of your business so that you can understand the specific things that your customer experience is reliant on. And then as you can see here, the answers come through, and you can analyze the specific piece, and the agents do exactly what you needed to. The other half of every customer conversation is the voice of your customers. Using our AI solution, you can extract valuable information from regarding customer sentiment, their experiences, and spot trends, enabling you to make informed strategic decisions. But as we saw, the people are trying to build their business cases or they're ready to start, many people aren't sure where to start. And so we're going to just spend a few minutes talking about where we recommend you start. And with all of these the solutions, it's understandable that which one makes most sense for you. And we believe that your success depends on reviewing these 5 steps. So let's explore each one of these in turn. Firstly, it's important to review the needs of your organization, to understand your specific requirements, and wherever possible, follow the data, not just the opinions of the people in the room. For example, are most of your interactions process related, checking an account balance or delivery status? If that's the case, considering adding a virtual agent to automatically handle these inquiries. Do you have a KPI that shows an issue with wrap-up time? Consider using summarization to reduce that time. And then you get the added benefit of ensuring that you're capturing the most accurate information about each and every call. Does your business serve multilingual customer base and you have trouble setting an agent schedule to support all of these languages? Key one here is consider automatic web translation. Or are you struggling to understand what your customers really need? And in this case, consider a voice of the customer solution to provide those actionable insights. The use of AI often evokes strong reactions, both positive and negative, and these need to be considered carefully. Would your customer base accept interacting with a virtual agent if it means getting a faster response? Or would most of your customers prefer to call and talk to a human agent? Again, this is about following the data. You really need to identify your customer demographics and engagement schedules, and maybe you can then consider you offer different services at different times. Maybe the members of your customer base that would like would be happy to interact with the virtual agent contact you between specific times, whereas those that want a human person contacts you in the morning. So you can make adjustments to your deployment strategy. Or maybe there's mistrust amongst your employees around the use of AI. Do some see the advantages of automated evaluation, or do they mistrust AI involvement? Here, change management and communication is key. Explaining how it works, what's happening, and why it's going to benefit them in the long run. At Enghouse, we can help you navigate these complex considerations. Setting goals and measuring progress against those goals are critical to all successful projects. And it's especially true for the implementation of AI technology. For example, if you're using automated evaluation, when it's running, are your supervisors getting that more accurate information about the agent performance? Are the supervisors then able to spend more time on the value-added activity of coaching agents to do a better job? If you're using if you're using automatic summarization, has your wrap-up time decreased and therefore agent availability increased? If you're using AI to extract the voice of the customer, are you getting those deeper insights that you really need? If you're using virtual agents, did it reduce the number of repetitive inquiries that are having to be answered by the human agents? Or are the customers able to get those accurate answers quickly? And in order to do that, you need to make sure you're measuring the right things. Being agile is regularly a competitive advantage, and that applies to deploying AI as well. You need to set regular checkpoints to review the results, looking back at the data that we were just talking about, and then adapt to ensure that your business continues to receive the maximum benefits from your chosen solutions. And finally, you need to communicate. Communication is really important. You need to communicate performance, demonstrate and communicate the performance improvements that you're measuring. And potentially you can even use AI again to check in with the employees and do a voice of the employee survey and then share those results. There are so many benefits that can be achieved through the use of AI, but like many new technologies, it needs to be deployed with careful consideration for the unique aspects of your business. As I've mentioned before, our team has a long pedigree in customer experience automation, and we really understand both the need, the technology, and how it impacts the people. We can help you navigate these pitfalls and help you achieve a successful outcome. So, in conclusion, EnghouseAI is not just about technological advancement. It's about transformation. We have extensive in-house expertise combined with a strategic use of top-tier AI solutions. We're not just offering products, but a partnership. And this partnership is geared towards fostering a more satisfied workforce and elevating your business to new heights. We want EnghouseAI to be the catalyst for the transformation of your customer experience. And to get started, make sure you look out for a special offer in the follow-up email for this webinar.
Fantastic. Thank you, Steve. Well, I wanted to go through a few things real quick before we get on to those questions. You'll see here that we've got a sheet that's got different resources on it. As I had mentioned earlier, we're going to go ahead and send out a link to our slide deck here so that you can later on go in and click on each one of these, whether it's checking out, the different brochures, or it's looking at, new reports, case studies, things like that. So definitely keep an eye out for that. The other thing I'd like to mention is that at the end of this survey, at the end of this webinar rather, you'll be presented with a survey, just an exit survey. If you could do us a favor and go ahead and fill that out, that would give us a really good sense of, how we're doing, and we'd love to hear your feedback on this kind of thing. So please do take the extra minute just to fill it out for us. Now on to the questions. All right, do appreciate those of you who have submitted those questions. And just a reminder, if you do have a question and you haven't had a chance to put it in into the chat, into the questions section, if you look in the GoToWebinar modules, you'll see one that is called questions. You can enter in the question there and we'll go ahead and address it, assuming we do have time. We are trying to keep this webinar to about 45 minutes, but if we have to run a little bit over, we could do that. So let's get those questions in, and I'll get started with the questions I have here already. All right, so Steve and Paul, first question is, do your solutions use generative AI? How do you address the concerns around security, accuracy, etc., that you do hear about?
So yes, absolutely. It's a great question. It's a really hot topic at the moment in terms of the use of AI. There's legislation all over the world that's impacting the use of some of the big names in generative AI. Yes, so the answer is yes, some of our solutions do use generative AI. The first part of that is in terms of security of the data. It's data security is a fundamental part of everything we do at Enghouse. We have teams that are focusing on that. So we're looking at how does data security in the first instance, and how's that impacted by generative AI and all solutions. The first part of which is making sure the data sovereignty, making sure that the data stays in the countries it's supposed to. That's a fundamental part of this. And then in terms of data privacy, we are looking at and using our history with AI to look at ways of removing the personal the personal identifiable data before it hits the generative AI. So we can filter that out so that it doesn't hit it. And that's a constant battle. That's constantly finding new things that we need to make sure we filter, but that's where we're starting with.
Fantastic. All right, the second question here is around GDPR and deploying AI. So are there any issues around deploying AI in a contact center while still adhering to GDPR and other privacy regulations?
Absolutely. Yes, I mean, there are concerns, as I just said, in terms of data sovereignty and data privacy. That's something that we need to make sure that we're on the lookout for. So we need to make sure that we don't, wherever possible, we don't allow the solutions to have access to any personal data. Now, sometimes you need a little bit of personal data in order to be able to provide the right answer. And in those circumstances, we have guardrails in place to ensure that that personal data, once the generative AI is finished with it, is deleted from anything that the generative AI has access to. It doesn't end up as part of this big mass of knowledge for the generative AI to continue to work on in the future. It gets removed.
Okay, great. The second one here, and it looks like we've had actually a few questions around this. So I might come back to a different one and a different wording a little bit later on. But this one is: are all of these AI solutions available standalone, or do we need an Enghouse contact center solution?
So they're all. So it depends on which solution we're talking about. But for the most part, they all require a different part of the Enghouse portfolio. These are all of our AI solutions are features on our existing solutions rather than standalone products. So we are we're promoting them as extensions of existing capabilities.
Fantastic. All right, here's a big one. In fact, I was just watching a show last night that was talking about this. How do you address concerns about AI and automation replacing human interactions?
Yeah, I touched on this during the, yeah, absolutely. I touched on this in the presentation. It depends on your business, really. What makes sense for your business. Now, our perspective in Enghouse is that the best use of AI is not to replace the human, it's to augment them. It's to make their jobs easier, to make them more efficient, so that you can do more. It's not purely about cutting the human out of the equation. There are plenty of examples that I already think of a handful of samples where the business is really proud of the fact that 2/3 of their questions, of their inquiries that came into their business were solved by a bot of some sort. That's not suitable for every business, and so it's not. You have to look at the balance for your business and do what makes most sense for you. Our view is that, as I said, that within Enghouse, it's about improving the agent, but that's not going to suit every business, and so we'll work with all of our customers to make sure that they get what's most suitable for them.
Great. Actually, I heard a really good quote a few days ago that was, AI will not put you out of, or will not take your job. People who know how to use AI will take your job. That was a really interesting
Yep.
way of looking at it. All right, our next question here. We looked at general speech-to-text technology a couple of years ago, but the transcriptions weren't on target. Has this improved for using AI, or has this improved using AI rather?
Well, the simple answer is yes. I mean, more specifically, yes, it has improved. It's improving all the time. We're seeing improvements every few weeks in terms of the accuracy across all of the different languages that we support, including down to almost hitting the same accuracy rates as a human doing it. So when a human does transcription. So when you have a human listening to the call and type up the answer, you get an accuracy of 99.5%. Yeah, even humans have that error. And the best AI, the best transcription services, and we're proud that ours are hitting these targets as well, can get around 96, 97% accuracy. So we're only a few percent behind. And that covers a whole range of different languages. Now, each language has a different level of accuracy. The more populous languages in the world have better accuracy, just because there's more data out there to base the improvements on.
That makes sense. Makes sense. All right, the next one here is AI technologies are changing very rapidly. Will it be easy and cost effective for my company to take advantage of future developments, or will I end up spending a lot of money on that?
I mean, well, it depends. If you go with Enghouse, we're aiming at cost effective. That's our whole point. We recognize that AI in the wider market can be unbelievably expensive, and that means that people are struggling to the customers out there are struggling to say, well, how can I define this? How can I defend this spending this much money on AI? And we say, especially for our customer base, they're asking us that question. We're saying, well, that's why we've taken the approach we've taken, is that it needs to be cost effective. There needs to be a clear ROI for our customers utilizing our solutions. So that means we're looking at cost effective transcription. Transcription used to be the roadblock to many of these, to the access of many of these things. And when it might not sound a lot, but a few cents per minute isn't a lot. But if you have a large contact center, you could be talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to be able to support that. And that's not maintainable for any size of business. So when we've been able to reduce that cost of transcription per minute down considerably from those early days, and that means that it's more accessible. And that we've taken that philosophy and applied it across all of our AI solutions to make it accessible and cost effective for our customers.
All right, next one is somewhat like, I told you there were a few questions that were somewhat similar. This one is, are AI capabilities just for cloud environments, or can it be applied to on-prem as well?
So again, this depends on the different solutions. We are trying to for the most part, there's a hybrid environment. So there is cloud requirements, there's a cloud element. That's because, as I said, if you can imagine how fast these things are evolving, deploying this on-premise, you can't upgrade on-premise systems every week or every few days, whereas in the cloud we can drive those improvements consistently. So that we have hybrid offerings. We are also looking at potential around some of the solutions being available on-premise and being wholly available on-premise, but we're not there yet, and we haven't released that capability at this point.
All right, fantastic. All right, the next question is regarding our quality management suite, QMS. And I guess the question is, does AI play a part of that now as well, or will it?
Absolutely. So QMS is one of the key parts for three of the solutions we talked about today. So summarization, evaluation, and the voice of the customer. All three of those solutions are the QMS forms the hook to drive all three of those solutions. So if you have QMS today, you can extend to those three solutions very quickly.
Fantastic. All right, we have a ton of questions still rolling in. This is great. Do you think that your AI solution may be an engine to improve debt collectors' work and performances?
Debt collectors is one of those challenging jobs. I mean, I've never done it, but I've sat in contact centers where I've watching agents do that job, and it's tough. The finding the way to, so there are lots of different aspects of AI. Our AI solutions are focusing on helping agents do the work more efficiently. Providing the right way of guiding the conversation around debt collection. That's where the real-time coaching is going to be helping, making sure that the agents are following the most appropriate scripts to get the responses, to get the debt from their targets.
I'm glad you said it that way, Steve, because at first when you started talking about that, I thought you were going to say, but I do get a lot of phone calls from them. So I'm glad to hear that's not where you went with it. All right, let's look at the next question here. Can portions of the solution be decoupled from the larger overall contact center solution? For example, initial AI agent via your solution, our solution, then hand off to another contact center solution.
I would need to go. We'd need to get into the details of exactly that. I mean, please, so whoever asked that question, please reach out to your sales contact and let's have that deeper conversation. I think that's a difficult one to answer. It might be possible is always the answer. The focus, for example, around the virtual agent as being part of a contact center solution where it's attached to our contact centers. So, but the virtual agents are being designed with the capability of doing anything that a regular agent can do, and transferring calls to another number is obviously something that agents can do, the human agent can do. Is that transfer across to another contact center? Let's talk.
Great. All right, the next one here is what level of automation can be built against an organization's operational support systems to complete actions based on the feedback from the customer, either by the AI voice or chat agents?
I mean, that's a how long's a piece of string question, really. I mean, it's almost anything can be automated these days. That's the beauty of the modern AI solutions. If the back-end systems that we're talking about here, you want to automate process, have appropriate APIs, then absolutely we can work with your teams to hook into those and to drive that automation. So it's how, as I said, it's how long is a piece of string question.
All right. So the next one here is the ongoing maintenance for AI high after the deployment? What sorts of things do we need to be planning for? And what sort of resources would we need to be doing them?
So somebody quoted this the other day. You should consider AI as another member of your team. If you don't continue training your team, managing your team, they're gonna sit in the corner, and eventually they're not going to be doing the job that you really need them to be doing. You need to think about AI as just being another member of your team. So it's not a huge investment. The whole point of being easily configurable is that you can get up and running quickly, but then you can make changes and adjustments as you see fit, and you need things to be moving along. That's where that's our whole approach to AI, is to make it cost effective and accessible for our customers.
Great. All right, and our last question here. Can the AI functionality on the virtual agent be enabled based on the personal preferences of the caller, based on the captured phone number calling rather than the hours open? And then there's a follow-up with that of what is the capacity of Enghouse to integrate with CRMs such as Salesforce and their Einstein system, with the ultimate goal to create a single point of, in quotes, customer truth.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a big one. Why don't I go back to the first question? Since I don't
break it down.
Yeah, let's break it out. I just figured since that was one person asking. The first one was, can the AI functionality on the virtual agent be enabled based on the personal preferences of the caller, based on the captured phone number calling rather than opening hours.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a fairly easy one. So the whole point around our virtual agent solutions is that they are designed to work in the same way as a human agent does. So in the same way as you can identify a caller as being a VIP and route them to a specific queue, the same approach can be done with virtual agents. So you could identify them as being somebody that doesn't want to talk to a virtual agent and therefore route them to a different location.
Okay. And here's the second part of that. What's the capacity of EnghouseAI to integrate with CRMs such as Salesforce and their Einstein system? The ultimate goal being to create a single point of customer truth.
So we absolutely can push content into Salesforce, and so that you can then pull that then you can use Einstein to do those things. Again, it's about identifying exactly what data you're talking about and what we want, what's being pushed. Yes, we can do it. The getting it set up is the key, making sure that we're doing the right thing, that we're pushing the right data, and that's a specific project question. We would get into that during a project.
Fantastic. Looking at the time, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up on that. Before we do go, first I wanted to thank you, Steve, and thank you, Paul, both for presenting today. Really do appreciate it. And for everyone listening and viewing, remember, we do have that exit survey that's going to pop up when you do log off. So we'd ask that you give us a few minutes and let us know any feedback or any additional questions that you do have. And lastly, just as a reminder, you'll be receiving an email with a link to this video, as well as the PowerPoint, so that you can go ahead and click on those EnghouseAI resources that we showed you in a slide. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to join. We'll talk to you all soon.